How do I make my characters more than just a caricature?
In early drafts, we're again putting paint to the canvas, and there'll be caricatures, and they'll be cliche. And I talk to my students a lot where they're like, "Oh, I'm so worried this feels cliche or fabricated." I'm like, "Don't worry, it is cliche and fabricated, but keep massaging it." And even then, when we're working on conflict, we are fabricating conflict. We're storytellers, so we have to take the normal conflict of everyday life and smash it together to make it interesting. Because if let's say I'm a character through my life, and like driving on the Los Angeles freeways, it's that might be a story, a very boring story. But then again, maybe there's something in that where there could be a film from the point of view of a guy driving Los Angeles freeways. And with that is when we go to the craft and keep going, hey, that's a really dumb idea. And feel free to take that dumb idea. But it's something where, oh, wait, okay, this character can do this. This character can go there. It's showing up to the page every day. That's the main thing. Just show up, show up, show up.
What's your process of incorporating supporting characters, predetermined or added as you go?
For me, it's added as I go. I write especially in first drafts, I'm writing the characters, I'm writing the story about as fast as my hand can write. And then all of a sudden something will show up and a character shows up and something interesting. Oh, wow, that's interesting. And then it's just characters start to find their way in, and then some characters stay in and some characters leave. So the character kind of has to prove themselves. And other times characters may sound the same, so you can smash 3 characters into 1 character. So I add as I go, but they're, either or, because predetermined is someone who would work from an outline and kind of come with the struggle. They can come with the whole family tree of characters before writing a single word. And so that's where writers, when they just kind of understand their process, and understanding their process is just continuing to show up to the page every day, and then going, oh wait, I like the family tree of characters, or I like, my friends call me a pantser because I do things by the seat of my pants. So I just like to throw paint and then try to make it pretty later. By coming back to it day after day, which may not be the quickest way to get work done, but it's just the way that I personally do it. So learning your process is the way to go.
And have you written supporting characters and then said, you know what, I think this one has to go?
Oh yeah. No, I kill a lot of darlings, and I've had to kill a lot of darlings over this last year, in the novel that I now have finished. But
oh, great.
Yeah, but it hurts. You're like, oh man. But it's, sometimes they upstage the journey, or they upstage the protagonist, and it's all about serving the story, serve your protagonist by creating that conflict that stays within the world that you've created.
What's the first thing you would do if you were beginning to write characters for a series?
That's a really good one, because a series has to carry seasons. So when you're thinking about characters, you're also thinking about world building a lot more, and thinking about, okay, I can write the pilot, and also when I'm pitching, I have to know season 1 arc, season 2 arc, season 3 arc, or if you're writing a sitcom, you have to know the world of where they have the the enclosed story of each episode. Like a procedural too. A lot of procedurals have their enclosed stories, and it's just like, and we wrap up. Oh boy, we got him this time, but wait till next week when we are not sure if we'll get him. So yeah, if you're beginning to write characters for a series, play with the beauty of the form of the series. What's the series about? The series has to have a tone unto itself that lasts for a very long time. And at that point, you can say a feature film is almost a short story, and a series is a novel or a series of novels. And that's when the world of is important in a film too. but really have fun with the world of where you're putting them. Even a TV show like Friends or like Seinfeld, you're putting Seinfeld on his little, in his apartment a lot. On Friends, they're all in the cafe. They all have their conflicts. And for a lot of TV series, they are tied into the sets that are created. So I guess on that note, think about keeping your locations as minimal as possible. How do you keep your locations as minimal as possible? So if you're working on if you're working on a TV series, they can shoot as much as possible on a soundstage before having to go out and do all the exteriors.
In your opinion, which character traits make Colonel Jessup, A Few Good Men, such a polarizing and unforgettable villain?
I just watched that film this last year and assigned it to my students.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's his moral code is so stringent and his status is always high. Talk about status play. That court scene is one of the most beautiful court scenes to watch in the very end, where I think it's an 8-minute scene where it's just like watching status shift from Colonel Jessup to the Tom Cruise's character back and forth. Mm-hmm. That's just a lot of status shifting. But what Colonel Jessup has as a trait that is very positive in humans is he has insatiable drive to do everything he can that he feels is right to protect everybody. And even though it's utterly flawed from our point of view, it is not flawed from his point of view. And it's just, I feel like that there's just something about it. And it's just Jack Nicholson. I think reading Colonel Jessup on the page and then watching Jack Nicholson be Colonel Jessup is just so great.
Here we go. Amelia Films. What makes a character memorable, especially villains?
I like that question. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the villain needs to be more interesting than the protagonist, because the more the protagonist goes through their journey and the more interesting the villain is, the more the protagonist has to go through the obstacles of this interesting and powerful villain. So even though the villain is the antagonist, they are the protagonist of their story. So yeah, Batman's such a great example of that, because Batman, he's kind of interesting, but the villains are always more interesting than Batman is. As far as the TV series, I don't know what the other stuff is. No, I'm kidding. But things like Batman and Spider-Man, they hold the center of the story, and then those villains just make those villains pop. Give them the weirdest quirks in the world. Give them, you don't even need to write, I feel like you need to write the backstory of everything and know your character inside and out. But when you're putting it to script or you're putting it to a novel, you don't need to have that all in there. You just write them from knowing what their background is, from knowing why they are so messed up in the head and have this twisted angle on life. And the villains are beautiful, so just make sure that, and kind of make them lovable too. I mean, if you're working on a character for, say a couple of years, you really gotta you almost have to love your character, even if they're the jerks of the film. You have to understand and have empathy, because in order to write and keep the process going, we have to love our characters. If we're not coming to the morning and writing with love, that's kind of a sad place to be. I mean, come with self-destructive hate and go, how am I going to do this? This is never going to work. But at the same time, when it comes to our characters, we love them because we want to take them on the most interesting journey that we can put them through.
Right. And do you think we like characters that are more self-destructive rather than those that are destructive toward others? Because maybe we can relate, or... Yeah, we can relate. And I think you're right. The self-destructive ones, I feel like, I really hope everyone has some self-sabotaging things they do to themselves because I'm the king of it. So I immediately relate to that. Whereas people who have I think that's a good thought, because as viewers, that's easier to connect with us. When people are outright pushing out and hurting other people, most of us don't do that. And even when we're at our worst, we won't hurt someone else. I'll enclose and be really upset, but it goes in, it doesn't go out. If it goes out too much, there might be a sociopath type level thing, which is fun to watch. So much fun to watch, not fun to be.